Do you think the sport needs to be cleaned up, the no-gi jiu-jitsu? Like, because it seems like there's a lot of PED usage.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would prefer if there was across the board testing for everyone. I would prefer that. It would just make the sport, it would just make things a lot easier, because at this point, you don't know. You don't know if someone's taking something. You don't know if you should be taking something, you know?
Yeah, if it's not against the rules.
It's not against the rule. If there's no testing, then it's like, it's not cheating, right? There has to be a test to cheat.
On the 80, like on the no-gi side, because I know, what is that? Fight to Win. I think they've said they never plan on actually doing testing, right?
Yeah.
Do you, when it comes to that side of things, because IBJJF does test, but they don't test rigorously. Do you think that, where do you see kind of things going as far as that's concerned? Do you think it's just going to continue to get more rampant, get worse, or do you see anything changing there?
Yeah, from what I've heard, there's no plans of any extra testing being added to any of the competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
How does that make you feel as a competitor? Because do you kind of feel a pressure that you need to start using stuff to try to catch up to people, or what's it put in your head?
There's a yes and no.
Okay.
Because, you know, some of the top guys, you know, you would assume that they're using drugs, right? Mm-hmm. But there's also a lot of really high level guys that are outspoken on being clean athletes.
Yeah.
So, kind of, but it's not the same as, say, like trying to go win like Mr. Olympia, right? It's like physically impossible to get to a certain level in bodybuilding without taking certain things, right? But I don't think it's physically impossible to get to a certain level of jiu-jitsu without taking things. Mm-hmm. I think you can become the best in the world natural.
Yeah.
I think it's possible.
Well, the big things that really changes is just like how much you can, like not even how much you could train, but just how hard you can train on a consistent basis. You know, it's not like it's going to change your skill acquisition or the technique that you have, but it's just like, can you go a little bit harder every single day of training? Maybe. And are you going to be super strong or stronger than more people? Maybe. But like Kyle, I think his whole thing is technique overall. If you have good technique, could probably beat anybody. Yeah.
So then there's even, you know, you could also say that if you're taking a slew of performance enhancing drugs and you're building your strength to a certain level, and you're doing that from the time you started jiu-jitsu. Let's say we get him on steroids, right? He's in his first month. We get him on steroids right now. We get him on all the PEDs, everything.
Yeah.
His recovery's great. His cardio's great. He's the strongest guy in the gym. He's gonna not overlap, but he's gonna skip ahead, and he's gonna skip 30 of the steps that he would have learned if he didn't have that strength.
Yeah.
So there's a give and take. You're gonna be able to skip over some of the technical aspects of jiu-jitsu, but then once you've skipped over it, it's going to be hard to, like, you know, go back and retrace your steps and figure it out.
Power Project family, how's it going? So no matter what diet you're on or no matter what supplements you take, it's necessary as you get older to know what's going on under the hood. That's why I've partnered with Merrick Health. They're the premium telehealth clinic owned by Derek from More Plates, More Dates. And we have a panel that will allow you to get all of your labs done and checked in a super easy fashion. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yeah, you guys got to head over to merrickhealth.com/power project. That's MAREK health.com/power project. And at checkout, enter promo code Power Project to save $101 off of this comprehensive panel. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes.
With so many people getting into jiu-jitsu, is it profitable? You make some good money? Like you mentioned that you're a coach and people I know teach and all these different things. How do you kind of like monetize it?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is teaching. You basically, the formula has been that you compete to show that you're good, and then people want to learn from you, right? But with that being said, now there's been a lot more opportunities to make money as a competitor instead of just being a teacher. You know, there's the path of selling online instructionals, even though that is, you know, teaching, right? You're selling an instructional. But then also you're getting paid now to show up and compete. Whereas, you know, 5-10 years ago, that was almost unheard of. Now, today, there's probably a paid professional competition going on, you know, almost every weekend. So there's opportunities to make money as a competitor now. But for most guys, for like, you know, 95% of the guys, you're going to make money selling instructionals and teaching seminars.
Yeah.
Or teaching at an academy.
Being both high level in the gi and no gi, right? what do you think are some of the biggest differences between both? Because you now see guys who just go straight into no-gi and they're like, fuck the gi, I'm just going to learn no-gi jiu-jitsu. Do you think it's necessary to learn the gi if you want to be a really good no-gi competitor? I'd ask like 2 questions within that, but
no, that's a good question, and it's a tough question. But I would say if you look at like the last ADCC, most of the guys that won compete in the gi sometimes, or at one point started in the gi. So like, you know, even Gordon Ryan, he's a black belt in the gi. I'm pretty sure he started when he first started, he was training in the gi a lot.
Yeah.
So I do think that it's beneficial to train in the gi at a certain point. But with that being said, I do think that you can also get to a high level if you're only training no gi. If someone came to me and said, I want to win ADCC one day, and they were like, you know, 14, 15 years old, I would have them training and competing in gi and no gi. I would, me personally.
Gotcha. And that aside, do you think that being high level in the gi has given you a certain type, like maybe a different understanding as you train no gi jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely. It just slows the game down.
Yeah.
And when you're training no gi, after like the first 30 minutes, it gets real slippery.
Mm-hmm.
You can slip your way out of things. You know, you can scramble your way out of things. For instance, like escaping side control. Like if you had me down in side control, if someone was to tell me, I'm going to give you $1,000 if you can escape in a minute, would you rather be in the gi or no gi?
Gi.
I would choose no gi.
You would choose no gi?
To escape?
You choose no gi?
Against you? I'll choose no gi.
Oh, I thought you meant if I had to keep you in side
you
control,
choose
I would choose
exactly, because it's more control. Yeah.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying if someone was to pay me to escape, I would choose no gi.
Oh yeah.
It's just easier to get. I could just fight my way out a little bit easier.
Yeah.
You know, when you add the grips in, it just adds a whole nother layer of technique and just like friction.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that it helps.
Okay. Hey guys, if you like this clip, go ahead and comment down below and let us know what you liked about it. All right. Share this with a friend. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And also, we are on Reddit and Discord. All that's down below. All our sponsors and everyone that supports us down below there too, so you can get whatever you like from us. All right. Peace.